As President Trump is sending the National Guard to tackle crime in Chicago, the city's ex-mayor, Beetlejuice, is putting her lead foot on the deployment.
This is not about violent crime, and I don't think we should pretend that this manufactured crisis and his attempt to provoke people in Chicago is legitimate exercise of power. It is not. We also know there are red cities in red states that have higher per capita rates of gun violence and other violent crime that we're not hearing coming out of the president's mouth as the places where he really wants to go.
All right. And J.B. Pritzker put on his finest sweatpants as he downplayed crime in the Windy City.
Would you ask your friends to ride the L after midnight or after, 9 o'clock at night even to come down to the city from O'Hare?
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
I love this, Dana. Yes, every city has crime, but let's look at Trump. That's their entire story. And also, they always say red states, which is a complete myth because it's the blue cities that cause the crime in the red states.
And there are, you think that, for example, that I'm trying to think, well, Denver used to be a red state, but Colorado was a red state, but Denver was always very liberal. The thing that he reminded me of there, Pritzker, it reminded me of Secretary Mayorkas. Remember him?
Yeah.
So,
ears.
Remember the split screen that we would have where we would ask the Biden administration about the border, and they would say, the border is totally secure. And the split screen was with Bill Maloogian or Griff Jenkins down at the border, and you could literally see live on camera everybody coming across at Eagle Pass. And to me, they're in a split screen moment again. And they lost that one on the border. Unfortunately, we lost out too. They're losing this. And unfortunately, the people of Chicago are losing here as well.
You know, Harold, let's play a little hypothetical, okay?
Sure.
What if Lori Lightfoot was some white dude and looked at all the black victims of shootings and says, this is manufactured? Meanwhile, you have a president, Donald Trump, who is actually doing more than any black leader in Chicago.
I think you're right.
Thank you.
I was on last
Moving
night.
on.
I was on with Dana and Lawrence Jones last night on Brett's show. And Lawrence, I thought, made a really pointed comment about Democrats and how it reminded me, as I listened to Lori Lightfoot, many of them are more focused on the process than they are the problem. You can't deny that there is a problem with crime and guns and gangs in a lot of American cities. I do think it would behoove mayors and governors who may disagree with President Trump on some things to take him up on his invitation to come to the White House and talk about these things. Talk about what more can be done, why you may disagree with the National Guard coming. Joe Scarborough said it well the other day. What is it that you would really like? Why don't we, instead of the National Guard, maybe you send the ATF and maybe you send DEA, maybe you send the FBI. But one thing you can't deny is that you don't want help in your city because they should be helping other cities. That's a dumb argument, because if you live in a crime-infested neighborhood and you're the leader, your leader says, well, we don't want that help because there's things going on in other neighborhoods and they won't go there. The person in the neighborhood who with the crime is going to say, why don't you come and get us more cops, more jails, more prosecutors, longer background checks for those who want to own guns, more money for high-performing education initiatives in cities. That's what they need, as opposed to saying he's wrong, he's not manufacturing that people are getting killed in Chicago. He's not manufacturing that people are getting shot in Chicago. So I understand a little bit where she's coming from, but focus more on the problem and not the process.
Yeah, you know, Roseanne, I listened to her with these crazy opinions, and I'm so tired of her coasting on her looks.
Well, listen, I'm not going to talk about her looks, but I'm just going to say a lot of people were shot in Chicago over the weekend.
Yes.
Over 50 people were shot in Chicago last weekend. And the mayor of Chicago is blaming guns coming in from red states, right? So these people were innocent in Chicago. The guns came in, totally infiltrated, turned these innocent people into gun-toting criminals. We all know that could happen. Right, Greg? Yes. Okay. I'm sure lots of people know crime is caused by criminals, people who enable them, excuse them, who change the laws that they can make bail or get no bail at all, or on the streets moments after they commit a crime. I mean, the former head of Chicago Police Department said basically the two top Democrats in Illinois are afraid of being humiliated by President Donald Trump because if he brings down crime in this city, how does it look for them?
So, Jesse, you dated Lori Lightfoot in the 90s, and she was a much different person back then. Shouldn't she try to stay out of the spotlight? Because Brandon, she used to be the worst mayor ever, and then Brandon came along and said, hey, hold my beer, and now he's the worst. She comes in and reminds everybody how awful she is. Do you still keep in touch?
Do you know what's messed up?
What?
She broke up with me.
Oh, man.
Can you believe that?
Yes. She found out you were black.
You make such a good point about why don't they just get along with Trump so they can both be heroes together. It's not embarrassing.
Right.
The mayor of D.C. loves the Guard. She's come out and praised Trump.
She's not really.
But no, Bowser has come around. Bowser's saying thank you. She's getting a little credit, and her people are alive. That's the thing. These black gangs are shooting each other, and the whites are buying all the drugs. We both have to knock it off, okay? The Pritzker governor in his sweatpants, why doesn't he just say, instead of blaming Trump, why doesn't he just say, yes, every death in my city is unacceptable, and one murder is too much? Why can't he say that? I mean, you should be a better politician than I am, and I'm not even a politician. Although I could be with the right price. A lot of people are saying that they're stealing the money. Hundreds of millions of dollars are going to Chicago every year for crime prevention programs, street programs, and they just pass it out and everybody puts it in their pocket. The DNC had Guard there when Michelle showed up, when I showed up. But they don't want to protect the South Side because no one cares. We had a great guest on last night, Greg. I'm sure you DVR'd the show.
I always do.
She said if they were killing trans guests, if they were killing trans in the South Side, the Democratic Party would hold a funeral for years. But if it's just a random black woman or a random black guy, they ignore it. And that's the problem. They put trans and illegals here and everybody else down here.
This issue is going to be what, if Democrats don't wake up, this is going to be what the border was in 2024. The economy is going to be very important, but this is the issue.
Yes, towering.
Did my point tower?
Yours towered over.
Towered over, Greg.
These people, don't they understand? Up next, a British comic gets apprehended over trans posts that offended.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.